Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. We got my Cubs World Series hat here. We're good to go. Championship. And we're good to go here with this. So this is my 31 favorite album, or my 31 favorite albums that introduced me to this band, these bands. So these are the honorable mentions that didn't quite make it in the series. So because you can only choose 31, you got 31 days, you get 31 albums. You don't get to choose 40 or 50 albums for a 31-day thing, unless you want to do unless you want to do 2 a day, which I don't really have time for. But I picked out 31 that I think are absolutely killers, and we're going to do them. I picked out actually 8. We'll do 8 of them. We'll start with this one. From Bachman Turner Overdrive, 4-wheel drive. Yes, I did have some radio introduction to BTO, but this really was the album that kind of launched it for me. I had a couple of tunes, and I wasn't really even sure what the band was called. And then we got introduced to Kiss, and for a while we were only listening to Kiss, and then I saw this album sometime after my Kiss introduction, and I'm not even sure when it was. I can't remember if it came before the Styx album or after the Styx album, but it was around the same period of time. And as soon as I saw it, I got it because I had liked this band even before Kiss. So this then became the album that really introduced me to this band, Bachman Turner Overdrive. The Eagles' Long Run, another great album, came out. I think it was a 79 album, came out, and got it right away. Somebody had suggested it, so I went out and got it. I like it a lot. I'm not a huge fan of the Eagles anymore, but I do love this album quite a bit. Next one up, another one from a guy who I probably should have been listening to long before. I do like this album a lot. This is the Voyage of the Acolyte by Steve Hackett. Next up, this is a band that this album was up there for a while, really dominated. It's not my favorite of their albums, but it definitely is a great introduction. Hall of the Mountain Grill from Hot Wind. Next up, this album you've seen before. I don't have the cover, it's disappeared on me. This is the Beatles' Abbey Road, introduced me to the Fab Four, a band I like quite a bit. Next up, a band from Norway that I've grown to love, and this is one of my favorite album covers and one of the favorite bands from that era of music and from that genre, and I think these guys are great. This is Hinterland from Wobbler. Next up, this album almost made it on my list. I was going to put it in there, but I just couldn't figure out who to put in and who to take out. I had about 3 or 4 that were close to the bottom that could have went, and this one I just edged out for a favor of another band, and this is the Police and their Regatta de Blanc album. And then, of course, the debut of Boston has to be mentioned. This is definitely the killer album that introduced me to Boston. I would be surprised if there's very many people out there who listened to Boston who weren't introduced by this album. That would be a surprise for. I'm sure there's people out there who did, but I don't think they're common. Let's put it that way. So there you have it. Those are the honorable mentions for the 31 albums that introduced me to these bands. And that concludes this series for the month of July. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was fun to put on. I'll be starting a new series tomorrow. That series will be 4 album runs of I guess it would be my 31 favorite 4 album runs by any given band. And we're only going to choose 1 run because there's a few bands that have more than 1 run of these 4 album ones. But we will choose to do just 1 from each band just to keep it interesting. I'm not sure I'm going to rank these in any particular order. I think it'll just simply be, I'll pick out the 31 I like the best. I'll put them in the list. I may rank them because if you're going to pick out your 31 best, that means those other guys weren't your favorite, so they didn't get in. But I think we can do a good job with 31 favorite band, 31 4-album runs for these bands for the month of August. So I'm not quite sure how the title will go, but I'm sure it'll be easy to figure out what's going on once I get it down. Anyways, I'm glad that you've enjoyed this. Please hit the like and subscribe. It's been much appreciated for all people's attention to the series. I got better than I thought I would get, and some of the albums surprised me how well they did. Anyways, if you have any comments or you want to put your own 31 list in the bottom, I'll be glad to look at it. There might be one or two of them on there that I thought about but never pursued, and gets me going too. That's what it's all about. Anyways, don't forget the notification bell, and we will see you tomorrow when we be starting the new series. So take care and have a good one. Goodbye.